Good afternoon, everyone. I am Earl Butch Graves Jr., CEO of Black Enterprise. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Black Enterprise 40 Under 40 Summit, hosted by Amazon in partnership with BlackRock. This one-of-a-kind virtual experience brings together a cohort of high-achieving young professionals and speakers who will share their insights and strategies to build successful careers, lasting relationships, profitable businesses, and generational wealth. This virtual event takes place concurrently with the release of our 2021 40 Under 40 list by blackenterprise.com. We at Black Enterprise have always prided ourselves on identifying high achievers early in their careers and offering the resources, networks, and support to help them realize their promise and greatness. In fact, as we continue to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the launch of Black Enterprise magazine, it's worth remembering that my father and our late visionary founder, Earl Graves Sr., was only 33 when he founded our company and 35 when our first issue was published in August of 1970. Since then, Black Enterprise remains unsurpassed when it comes to identifying and elevating young Black achievers, including the likes of Reginald F. Lewis, Melody Hobson, and Kenneth Chenault, long before they were recognized or even noticed by mainstream media. Today's 40 Under 40 Summit builds on that legacy, amplifying the voices and works of a new generation of outstanding entrepreneurs, professionals, and leaders. As the CEO of Black Enterprise, it is a personal priority for me to uplift, encourage, empower, and celebrate this new generation of leaders, which also happens to include my 4 children. To that end, it is my pleasure to introduce another 40 Under 40 leader, Black Enterprise's own Deputy Digital Editor, Selena Hill. Over to you, Selena.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Black Enterprise 40 Under 40 Summit, sponsored by Amazon. I'm Selena Hill, the Digital Deputy Editor at Black Enterprise, and I'll be your host for today's virtual experience. For the past 50 years, Black Enterprise has identified emerging superstars in industries ranging from finance and technology to media and entertainment. We've placed a spotlight on many young leaders before they achieve full-blown marquee status, and this year is no different. Our 2021 roster of 40 Under 40 honorees are bold, innovative, and powerful trailblazers who are making waves in their respective industries and even the world at large. Following a year of unprecedented uncertainty and disaster, these changemakers remain committed to success, excellence, and changing the world. They turned crisis into opportunity and tapped into the depths of their creativity to innovate solutions to a new set of problems. The BE 40 Under 40 honorees embody the best of a generation that will never settle or be defeated. Throughout this day, you will hear from many of them as they share insight, expertise, and strategy about success, making impact, and building generational wealth. You'll be equipped with the tools and resources you need to expand your business, build your brand, and excel in your career. You'll also hear from activists and legislators about what we need to do to build and protect our thriving communities. So get ready to learn, connect, and grow at the 40 Under 40 Summit. Let's get started.
hello, everyone. I'm Danielle Young, journalist, host, producer, and content queen. And I'm so excited to be with you today because we're on to something special, okay? This is defining big brands and making impact with Prime Video and Amazon Studios CMO, Ukonwa Ojo. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Ukonwa because she's super special. Before she was appointed as the global chief marketing officer at Amazon Prime Video and Amazon Studios, Ukonwa Ojo served as the C-suite multicultural corporations like Mac, CoverGirl, Unilever, and General Mills. She has been everywhere. So during this amazing one-on-one conversation with Ukonwa, we're going to talk about not only her amazing career and the climb that she had to take to get there, but also the future of marketing. Hello, Ukonwa.
Hi, Danielle. It's so good to be here.
Good to be here with you, girl. All Black everything, first of all. We're here with Black Enterprise, so that's the name of the game. But there's something so special about seeing a beautiful Black woman like yourself in the position that you're in. So I'm excited to be here with you.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And your lipstick is bomb. So let's start there.
Listen,
the yellow, the black, you're giving me everything.
I had to bring it, okay?
You brought it.
History says Mac, and I was like, wait a minute now.
Yes, thank you. I see it.
So we're going to talk about so many things when it comes to your career, when it comes to marketing, but I want to make sure that everyone is aware that we are going to be talking about not only navigating through a successful corporate marketing career, but Black Lives Matter, how that has reshaped marketing, how COVID has reshaped marketing, and then what successful marketing actually looks like in 2021. So you ready to chat it all out, Ukonwa?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Amazing. Okay, so my first question is a little bit more personal about your life experiences that have helped shape you. So can you tell us a little bit about some of those experiences of your life that have helped make you into this amazing woman that you are now?
Thank you. Of course, I'm going to start with my parents. I come from a line of entrepreneurs. My dad was a businessman. My mom was a businesswoman. My dad owned his own business and my mom owned her own business, her own fashion business. So I feel like that kind of formed this person who was both, analytical and creative. So that, I would say, if you go way back, like that's how I became who I am today. I started my career in finance, actually. I spent about almost 6 years in finance before I switched into marketing. And I was very fortunate that I had a mentor called Jim McGrain who encouraged me to go to business school. And I went to business school, I studied marketing, and I have spent the last almost couple of decades in a career in marketing, like you said, across a number of different companies. And that's how I ended up here today. So yeah, first of all, kind of the DNA and the genes from my parents, and then a lot of education and mentorship and sponsorship along the way. And like, voila, like here we are. So thank God.
Listen, thank God. I mean, I know a lot of people, especially those ambitious people who end up in these amazing positions, they still deal with imposter syndrome. And I've heard that you went to a top business school. So can you talk about, just putting the big girl panties on and putting yourself in those places and getting past your own imposter syndrome to succeed in these spaces that are considered intimidating by many?
Yeah, no, that's such a great question because I dealt with that when I was younger and I decided I wanted to switch to marketing. So I'd spent almost 6 years in finance and I was like, I don't think this is it for me. Like, I believe I want to move into brand management. And at that time, I just wanted to go to a local school. I was like, I'll just go get my MBA. I didn't know any better. I was like, I'll just go to my local MBA school. And I talked to my mentor, Jim McGrain, and he was like, no. You are not going to go to your local school. You're going to go to a top 10 school. And he was like, and I believe in you so much, I will write your recommendation letter. And he did. He followed through. He wrote my recommendation letter. And I ended up getting into the best school for marketing, into Kellogg. And he was right. I graduated at the top of my class, and I ended up, in a career in marketing. So yeah, there's so many times where we wonder if we fit into those spaces. And sometimes you have to give yourself a pep talk. Sometimes your family gives you a pep talk. And in some cases, it's a mentor like Jim McGrain who like calls you out and sees the potential in you and is brave enough to be like, no, 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 no. Like, I'm going to help you here. Like, here's what you do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And then we have to be willing to follow in that guidance, in this case, which I did. And now, you know, like however many years later, I can look back and I'm like, I'm so glad that I sought his guidance and that he gave me good guidance, and then an incredible amount of work along the way at Kellogg, and obviously, like, you know, in the however many years since, an incredible amount of work, and then you end up in this place and you're like, oh my God, how did I get here? But like I said, thank God.
Yeah. God bless mentors, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and as a mentee, it seems like obviously not everyone is able to throw themselves out there for someone else. So for, you know, him to be able to do that for you, he saw something in you. So now that you're in this position, you're able to pay it forward in that way. What helps someone stick out for you to where you're like, I see what I see
it. I see it. Yeah, no, that is such a great question. I think the biggest thing for me is drive, because you can teach somebody the skills, you can give someone the capabilities, you can send them to classes, but if they don't want it and they're not ready to hustle, you can't teach that. You can't give that. And so on whatever team that I'm on, whoever's on my team, I'm looking for the folks that are in it to win it. And they're like, you know what? I came to play. I want to win. Let me know how to do this. Or here's an idea of how I can do it. And here are my ideas of how I would achieve this. And you're like, okay, go for it. And I tell my team all the time, I will always rather hold you back than push you. And so it's really about the folks you can tell very early, the folks that are in it to win it. And they're ready to learn whatever it takes. They're ready to roll up their sleeves and get to work. They're ready to collaborate with other people and be like, I may not have all the answers, but together we have all the answers, like, let's go. And when you see all those elements in someone, you can teach them the things that they don't know. But if they have that as a foundation, I found that always works.
Right. I love that. Well, I mean, I'm sure you've been able to see a lot of really ambitious people throughout your career, because we've mentioned the brands like Mac and CoverGirl, and now here you are at the Goliath that is Amazon. So I would ask you, why would you choose something like Amazon? But I think it's pretty obvious to be able to go into a company like Amazon. But what made Amazon be the place for you?
Yeah. Like you said, it's Amazon. So when they called, I was like, okay, you better take.
Oh, wait. Excuse me, Ukonwa. You said when they called.
When they
was Jeff like, hey, girl?
When they called, I was like, okay, I wasn't planning for this, but I like this. This is cool. And I wasn't sure in the beginning because I had just joined Mac and I was actually really liking Mac. And my team there was great and I was really loving it. But the more that I met the people at Amazon, the more that I saw a glimpse of the vision of what we were trying to achieve. And I realized that I could be part of the team that helped build it to that vision. That for me was incredibly exciting. I was like, there are not that many times in your career where you get to join something that's big, but make it even bigger. There are very few times in your career where you get the combination of those two things. And I felt like when I joined Amazon Prime Video and Studios, that's basically what I got to be a part of, where like we're this major global player in streaming, but there's so much opportunity still left for us. And this team that's here right now, we get to build that. And I think that's really, really cool. And I just wanted to be a part of the team that did that. And so here we are, like 8 months in, I'm like, let's go, let's do it.
Yeah. Congratulations to you. Because,
thank you.
Listen, I know you know it because you're a C-suite person, but where there are Black women in the C-suite, there is so much growth and opportunity for just so much more than the company has been used to for so long. So seeing someone like you in this position and wondering with a company like Amazon, like where they intend to go, do you feel pressure being this Black woman in this very visible, very high level space?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't. My faith is really important to me. I believe that everywhere that I am, I'm supposed to be there, and there's a reason why I'm there. And so it's really just like stepping into that purpose. And so staying plugged into that every day to be like, okay, today's a new day. What do you need me to do today? How do I go about it today? And working with your partners, your colleagues, with my boss, with my team, and be like, okay, like let's do this together, because nobody achieves anything alone. You do it with a team of people. So if you know that you're in purpose, you know that you're there for a purpose, and you have a team that's with you, that supports you, and you all share a vision, then it's not intimidating. It's something that you're building together. And that for me is really exciting. And I don't feel the pressure for that. I feel a ton of excitement. There's a lot that I want to do, and we don't have a lot of time. And I'm like, okay, like don't push everything too far. Like hold on a minute, like pace yourself. But no, not intimidation and not pressure. I feel like I'm here for such a time as this, and we are all there for that, and we will achieve what it is that we set out to achieve together.
Well, achieving you have. I've seen some projects that you've had your hands on, and fully aware that your style of marketing, your approach to marketing definitely puts its finger on the pulse of pop culture.
Yes.
And so we get to enjoy, I've heard a few of your projects with, especially like Coming to America.
Yes.
Sexual chocolate getting sent
chocolate.
out. I love that. I love that. I'm like, now I want a career in marketing. It's so much fun. And I heard you also did like a drone project with Michael B. Jordan's latest film, Without Remorse. So there's all these really awesome moments that you're able to contribute towards when it comes to these marketing strategies. So can you talk a little bit about how you are, I guess, enticing audiences and getting us excited around these projects using the type of marketing approach that you use?
Yeah, so my philosophy in marketing, and I talk about it all the time, is I believe that the best marketing is at the intersection of what the brand cares about and what culture cares about. So I talk about it as the intersection between brand and culture. And if you look at all the campaigns in my career that have been incredibly successful, they have all been in that intersection. And I believe that that intersection is where the magic happens. And so from a brand perspective, for our campaigns and for our movies and our shows, I bring that same philosophy to our team. So I'm like, okay, if we're going to tap into the zeitgeist, then we have to know the zeitgeist. We have to know culture, and we have to know what people really care about and what they're really passionate about. And if we take what we want to say and tap it into what people genuinely care about, we will win every time. So if we take Coming to America, if you just spend a lot of time with the people, you will understand what people really loved about the first Coming to America. They were like, Randy Watson better be there. Barbershop better be there. Sexual chocolate better be there.
Yes.
You know, royalty, because we all dressed up for Halloween in the costume, like that was all really important. And so if you're like, okay, so if I look at the last 30 years and what people really cared about for Coming to America, and now I want to market Coming to America too, what you want to say about Coming to America too, you tap into what people have been saying and are saying. And when you do that, the magic happens. So in this example, for Valentine's Day, we sent out actual sexual chocolate to people, and they got super excited about that. And they ended up talking about that, and that got a lot of conversation. You step into the royalty and you allow people to participate and to live out their kind of inner majesty, which we all have, by the way. But if you think about the fact that Coming to America was really the first movie that showed us in all of our excellence, we just wanted to really lean into that. We were like, that already exists in culture, just lean into that and celebrate that. So yeah, there were so many different aspects of that. And then the same thing with Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan. We're like, this is a movie that really honors the military and military drones and things like that. So let's have an activation around that. So we're like, it would be so cool to have, you know, the seeding kits to influencers actually be delivered by drones. And when we thought about that, we're like, oh my God, that's really complicated. That's really hard. How do we make sure we don't hurt anybody? How do we make sure that we're able to deliver this? But you get, once the ambition is out there and you have a lot of team members who are in it to win it, they figure it out. And the next thing you know, like you're sending drones to all these, to people all over the world in different cities around the world. And it's, generating a lot of conversation online. So yeah, I fundamentally believe that the best marketing is at the intersection of brands and culture.
I agree with that. Invite me to your next meeting because that's
okay.
That sounds fun to
You're welcome.
Listen, sexual chocolate, I'll take it.
Yes.
I'm very curious because now we obviously have reached not even a fever pitch, but just a resurgence of the civil rights movement, a new breath in the civil rights movement that has formed around Black Lives Matter. And as we all engage online, there's so many examples of now this movement making its way into the cultural conversation, the zeitgeist, like you spoke of. And now it's also becoming a part of marketing, a part of how brands are reaching out. Can you talk about how, Black Lives Matter and in this movement, and also more than a movement, obviously, but how it has factored into how you do your job?
That's a fantastic question. And it basically says that like Black people are here to be here. We're here to be here. And that's across everything. And so we don't even see it just as the marketing, it has to permeate everything that we do. So from the leadership to the team, the makeup of the team, to the creators that we work with. Whether we have Underground Railroad coming out with Barry Jenkins, we just did Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan, we did Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. Before that, we had One Night in Miami with Regina King. So we're basically saying that we want a team that represents the community that we serve, which includes Black people. We want to work with creators that represent the communities that we serve, which includes Black people. We want people behind the camera, directors and actors and writers. We want all of that, all the people behind the camera to also represent the communities that we serve, and making sure that Black people are represented. And then in the way that we market, we want to make sure that that also represents the communities that we serve. So whether it's partnering with Black-owned brands like History, with Nas or Uma Beauty, we want to make sure that we are doing brand partnerships with Black-owned brands, that we are doing media partnerships with Black-owned brands, that we are hiring Black people on our teams, that we are working with Black creators. And so we're really interrogating the entire chain and making sure that we're not just speaking, but that we are really putting our money where our mouth is, and developing talent and building talent and investing in businesses in a way that will make sure that the communities are better after the partnerships that we've had with them.
I love that. Come through Amazon. I love it. Be a part of the movement and help move it forward, because that's exactly what we need. Big brands like this helping out and pushing financially, as well as just using the platform. So that's great to know that how Amazon is incorporating Black businesses as well into the marketing, into your marketing work. Well, considering that this is 2021 and our attention spans are still very short, despite having to sit down all of 2020, how would you suggest that brands successfully keep people's attention? Especially when it comes to marketing.
I would say, first of all, before you keep it, you got to earn it.
Come on now. Come on.
So I'm like, number one, we have so many different ways to enjoy ourselves. Why should I spend it with you? Why should I give you a minute? Why should I give you 30 seconds? Why should I give you 15 or 6 seconds? you have to earn every second that you have with me, which means as marketing teams, as creative teams, we have to be really interesting. we have to be really interesting. We have to have really cool things to say. And if you think about your life kind of residing in your feed on social, you have to give me something that goes, wait, what? Like, I have to want to stop and engage with you. And so that means we have to work a little harder. We have to work a little harder to earn your attention. And when we earn your attention, to keep your attention, that really gets to, we have to make sure that the work we put in front of you is worth it. And so the content has to be worth it. The stories that we tell have to be worth it. We have to make sure that we are engaging all of your emotions. And that's something that we talk about as a marketing team all the time. How does this make me feel? What does it, and it needs to make me feel something, so I lean in. And that feeling could be anger, it could be laughter, it could be joy, it could be sadness, but I have to feel something so that I lean in and I engage and you keep my attention. But if you combine those two things, so for us in entertainment, it's content that is so interesting that you want to lean in, that it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you angry, it makes you feel something. When we nail that, we know that we will keep your attention. But to get you to even stop and to watch it and to engage with it, the marketing has to be interesting, and it has to break through the clutter, and it has to be something that, like I said, you're scrolling through and you go, wait, what? And when you do that, if you are scrolling through and you see a drone arrive at somebody's house, you're going to be like, wait, what? When you see somebody receive chocolate with Randy Watson and his sexual chocolate, you're going to be like, wait, what? Like, you have to give people that reason to kind of stop and pay attention. And if you do that consistently and you're reaching very broad swaths of people, we're very fortunate that we, thanks to the internet, it's now one world, right? Like, it's one internet, like, it's brought the world together in a really powerful way. And even if we talk about the Black audiences, one of the things that I'm really proud of is the ability to bring together Black audiences from all over the world. So Black people in the UK and Black people in Africa and the Caribbean and Black people in America. And we're all coming together for the movement. And the same way with our content, being able to bring Black people around the world to enjoy content that's been made by Black creators around the world. I think that's so powerful. And we have a platform that is in over 200 countries where we can start to unite those communities, and we can start to tell those stories to communities that exist all around the globe. And as I look forward to the future, like, I think it's incredibly exciting. I feel very fortunate to be a part of the team that helps to shape that and to create that.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad that we have someone like you in this position to be able to contribute to the shifting of the culture, especially on this high level. So it's exciting for me, sis.
Me too. It's so cool to talk to you about it too.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. I'm curious about, because I know you have amassed an incredible skill set. I would love to know, what are some of those skills or attributes or qualities that aspiring marketing leaders need to know, things that really will help them set themselves apart in this space?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say first and foremost is you got to do something that you genuinely love to do. And I was good at math. And so I ended up going into a career in finance. It was a very kind of linear decision. I'm good at math, I'll do finance. And then I went into finance and I was like, yeah, I'm good at math, but I don't love this. Like, I don't want to spend my whole life doing this. And I'm driven enough to, at the time, I was like, I want to be one of the best in the world at this, but I know I'm not going to be that if I don't love to do it and I don't spend a lot of time to do it. And so the saying is that it takes about 10,000 hours to be great at anything, and you're not going to spend 10,000 hours on something you don't love. So I think choice one is find work that really gives you energy and that you're really excited about. Number two, I've never been afraid to read a book. Like, I'm all about education. I'm all about it. And grades were very important to me. If you look through my history, like, I was always very motivated to learn. And so, like, never be afraid to learn, never be afraid to read a book, never be afraid to like read, an article, never be afraid to like really lean in and learn about whatever it is that you're passionate about, and never give anybody an excuse not to hire you. If you see my my resume and it has a 4.0, why would you not interview me?
Hmm.
I never want to give you an excuse not to have me in the room, right? So I'm all about education, and I am a huge proponent of that. And then the last bit of it is, and when you're there, so you are in a passionate area that you love, you have done your education, you have done the work, like you know what it is that you're supposed to do. And then when you're there, be there. Don't fade into the background. Don't be a wallflower. God created you exactly as you are for a reason. So when you're there, bring all that you are to that, because out of that comes creativity that would not have existed without you, because you will bring something very unique to that situation that nobody else will bring. Even if they were Black, they wouldn't bring it. There's a combination for me, being this woman who like grew up as an immigrant. I'm Nigerian, I'm American, I'm all these things. That brings something very different to Danielle. So we need everybody in the room. I need Danielle in the room. You need Ukonwa in the room. Like, we all need to be there. And so if we bring everything that's unique about us, all of that is special shows up in the work that we do. And ultimately, then the results that we bring to whatever organization that we are a part of. But I think those are the three really important skill sets and capabilities, and really just a mindset that I think that we should bring to whatever we do. And I've found that to work in my life and in my career, and I hope it works for others as well.
Oh, that's so good. I feel like I want to work for you.
Come on.
You just don't hear this type of passion, real life. She is talking about God from the sea level. Like, I don't hear that kind of talk. So you're super refreshing. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, thank you. But it's the truth. It's like, if you want to know how I live my life, like that's how I live my life. Like, that's how I go to work every day. That's the energy that I bring to, and like I said, everything that you are, bring that, because that's what makes you unique in that situation. And that's for companies too, because like, you can't be like, oh, I hired one Black person, so I've checked the box. Like, no, every individual brings something really unique. So you need a full diversity of representation to be able to mine all that there is to be there. And so even on my team, having different people with different experiences, even if we have the same skin color, we bring different perspectives. And I love having all of that in the mix when we're creating together, because what we end up creating becomes extra special. Yeah.
Right. And that's exactly what it is. That's why, when you see these companies that have to go through so much diversity training and things like that, people are like, why? But it's also because maybe there has been a certain type of culture or a certain type of person in these positions of power. So diversity will always bring about a different form of humanity, because you have different sets of eyes that have different sets of experiences.
Exactly.
That can help you understand, this is not something that should be happening here.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, you got me feeling hopeful, because a lot of the times when you come through school, you come through college, you go through higher education, they're teaching you to be what the company needs, instead of just being yourself and bringing all of that to the table.
Bring
so
all
really
of that.
Great to hear that.
All of that, bring all of that. Because what's the point of having diversity if you're going to show up and be like everybody that was there before you? Then there's no point. And so that's the value of diversity, is that you will bring a diverse perspective, is that you will bring a different perspective. And so if you're not bringing that, then we have failed. Like, we are going to lose the benefit of all the effort. And so it's really, really important that we give people the room to do that, so that they can deliver what it is that they're there to deliver. And we as a business, as a brand, can get the benefit of everything that they have to give and to deliver. Yeah.
Period. I love that. So y'all obviously can see why Ukonwa is here and has been able to get where she has gotten to in her amazing career, defining big brands and making impact with Amazon Prime Video and Amazon Studios. Thank you so much, Ukonwa. Like, you have been such a breath of fresh air to chat with and just get to know. And I'm proud of you. Like I'm your mom.
I'm like, I like you, Danielle. We could be friends.
Let's link it up. I would love that. I would love that.
Let's do it. Because this was such a joy. Like I really enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Likewise. And I think I've gotten some notes. I've learned. I'm about ready to get into my marketing career. I hope y'all have gotten some notes as well. And I'm so glad that y'all tapped in and joined us today for Black Enterprise 40 Under 40, a little conversation with a major woman, Ukonwa Ojo, CMO at Amazon Studios and Amazon Prime. Thank you again.
Thank you. This is lovely.
Thank you.